Ready for some high five action? Good, because today's trainer is the ever-encouraging number 5. He's got some great strategies for helping you master his set of facts with no skip counting necessary. So, let's head on over to Five's cabin and see what he has in store for us.
Welcome, recruits. I see you survived your training with Sergeant 3. He can be a bit rough around the edges at times, but that's what makes him so good at his job. Now, I'm assuming if you made it this far, you understand the nuts and bolts of a multiplication operation, and you've had training in writing and interpreting the secret code. Am I right?
We have, sir.
The best, sir.
From Agent 007, sir.
Excellent. So here we have the code for all the facts that you will need to master while you're with me. Let's start finding the secret identity of that slippery Agent X for each of these. Who would like to interpret this first piece of code?
I would. It reads 1 times 5.
Oh, where's the easy button? That's just
5.
That was easy.
And this next bit of code? What does it say?
It reads 2 times 5.
Which is 5 plus 5.
And that equals 10. Right again. And the next reads
3 times 5, which is 5 plus 5 plus 5.
Which is
15.
Okay, recruits, who can read this one for me?
It says 4 times 5, which is 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5.
And that equals
20.
Right you are. Let's pause a moment. Remember when you were first recruited and you met with Agent 007?
How could we forget? He's so cool.
He's a great teacher, too. Except he's always running off.
Well, he does have to skip out on his teaching post on occasion, but always for a very good reason. Anyway, who can tell me something you learned from him that really stuck with you?
He told us that in order to be a good spy, you have to be intuitive, meaning you have to rely on your senses in a situation where all the facts have not had time to weigh in.
He also taught us that we should be on the lookout for patterns that we can turn into rules.
And these rules can help us learn our basic facts much more quickly.
And I agree. In my world, and in yours too, patterns are everywhere. We numbers love patterns. We rely on them to get our jobs done. Now, can anyone spot a pattern in the products we've written so far? Yes?
If you look just at the ones digit, there's a pattern. It's 5050.
Spot on, my dear recruit. Do the rest of you see that as well?
I see it.
Me too.
Yeah, it's an AB pattern.
It is indeed. Now, look at my partner, my cofactor in each of these operations. See if you can make a connection between the type of number, meaning whether it is odd or even, and the product. Take a minute. No rush. What do you think?
When your partner is even, you all produce an even product, with a 0 in the ones place.
That's because of the rule that says odd times even equals even.
And every number that has a 0 in the ones place is an even number.
And when your partner is odd, you two produce an odd product with a 5 in the ones place.
Is that so?
Yep, because odd times odd equals odd. And every number that has a 5 in the ones place is an odd number.
Wow. You're some of the most observant recruits to pass through the ranks here at Camp Combinations. Now, I'm going to write the rest of the products up here, and we'll be able to see that our pattern holds true. And it does. Since we do have a pattern, let's make a few rules that will help us find the products of these facts. Any suggestions?
How about this? The product of any even number times 5 will have a 0 in the ones place.
Nice rule. It's very well worded, too. Can anyone think of another rule that will go along with this one?
Will this work? The product of any odd number times 5 will have a 5 in the ones place.
Great job, recruits. Now I want you to focus on just the facts that have even numbers as my cofactors. Take a few moments to see if you can make a connection between my cofactors and the digit in the tens place of the product. I'll spotlight them to help you focus your attention on them. Any takers?
I noticed if you double the digit in the tens place, it will be the same as the even factor.
And I was thinking that the digit in the tens place of the product is half as big as the even factor.
And you're both right. Great vocabulary, by the way. Product, factor, digit. I'm impressed. Anybody have any ideas as to why this is the case? Here's a hint. It takes 2 5s to make 1 10.
I was thinking how I have 5 fingers on one hand, so when I put both hands together, I have 10 fingers total. That helps me think that it takes 2 5s to make 1 10.
You hit the nail squarely on the head. As you've already learned, on a multiplication up, the maker makes the doer add his amount the number of times specified by the maker. If the op is 4 times 5, 4 makes 5 add his amount 4 times. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. If I go ahead and add the first 2 5s, I get 10. And if I add the last 2 5s, I get another 10. So my 4 5s make 2 10s, and 2 10s equals 20. Let's make a third rule that applies to my set of facts. This one says that when the maker is even, the product will have half as many 10s as there are 5s. And it's the maker that tells us how many 5s will be on that op. Look at the code 6 times 5. Who is the maker on this op?
6 is, and 6 is an even number.
Exactly. So I'm going to think half as many 10s as there are 5s. So half of 6 is 3, so that makes 3 10s, which is just
30!
Just to make sure that you totally grasp this concept, let me illustrate it for you. First, let's get rid of these odd problems. I really liked your example of hands and fingers, since we all have 2 hands with 5 fingers on each hand, so I'll use that in my illustration. Our first fact is 2 times 5, and we know that the maker of this fact is
2!
Yep. Now let me just make a couple of handprints up here on the board. Thinking of our rule, we think half as many 10s as there are 5s. Half of 2 is 1, so that makes 1 10. So the product will be
10!
That was easy. Now let me add 2 more handprints up here. Now we have 4 hands, 5 fingers on each. Write the code for this operation on your whiteboards. As you can see, 4 is the maker on this op. So I'm going to think 4 5s. Half as many 10s as there are 5s. Half of 4 is 2, so that makes 2 10s, which is
20.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy, eh? Now I'll add 2 more handprints. What is the code for this problem?
The code is 6 times 5. And since there are 6 hands, with 5 fingers on each hand, 6 is the maker. And half of 6 is 3. So that's 3 10s, which is 30.
If this gets any easier, I'll have to retire. All we need now is 2 more handprints. How would I write the code for this scenario?
You would write 8 times 5, and the maker would be 8. So all I have to do is think half as many 10s as there are 5s. Half of 8 is 4. So that makes 4 10s, which is just 40.
So let's go ahead and add these facts to our sheets. You should have already added 0s, 1s, and 2s facts. Now add the product to all of my facts, where my cofactor is an even number. Well, we're all done for now. Sergeant 3 is waiting for you in the courtyard, and he's going to drill you just on these facts, so I'm afraid you'll have to go back to him before we can proceed with the rest of my facts.
Sergeant 3's not so bad.
Yeah, he's actually helping us.
I'm a lot faster now since I've been working with him.
But we look forward to working with you again, too.
While the recruits are doing their drills with Sergeant 3, this would be a great opportunity for you to conduct your own drills. On the Numbers website, which is posted below, navigate to the section called Drills and Other Resources. There you will find a folder named Drills. Print out a few copies of the drill called 5s in Multiplication, Even Facts Only. Once you can fly through these, meet us back here to learn the rest of 5's facts. See you soon.